You want the whole truth. You deserve the whole truth. So here's the thing. Find out who I am. And for those of you who know, and you're not saying anything, well, those golden tickets you have are really lined with lead. Because until the whole truth comes out, it's all just lies on both sides. So anyway, TikTok, have some fun with this. Find out who that man is with the silly curl on his forehead. I had forgotten I even had that curl for decades. Strangest thing, having your memories wiped out. Well, anyway, take care, TikTok. Godspeed.
Welcome to all American Cartel members, Anons, Facebook friends, Twitter followers, and random YouTube viewer, Parlor followers, and I think that's about it. Let's dive right on into this fantastic, amazing, breaking news episode. Superman might be alive, or is it JFK Jr.? Now, I know we're all tired of hearing about JFK Jr. possibly, potentially still being alive, especially after the whole Vincent Fusca debacle, or fiasco, or whatever you want to call it. I think we know who this guy is, and I think there's better options than Christopher Reeves, or Reeve, excuse me. I guess that's a Mandela effect, if you all didn't know. We'll talk about that later in this video, but I guess it's Christopher Reeve. But yeah, there's definitely better options as far as who this guy may be. Now, I'm gonna wait to the very end to show you who I think it is, so make sure you stay tuned for that. At the end, I'm gonna show you what I found and who I believe it to be, but it honestly, it's still up in the air in my head too. I think it's just most probably this guy, but it definitely could still be Christopher Reeve. A lot of things like the throat tracheotomy thing, there's lots of things that make me believe it could be all of these guys, with JFK Jr. being the least probable or possible one in my eyes, at least. So at the end, like I said, we're gonna talk about who I think it is. Please enjoy these videos from these two people. I think one is Spirit of Admitos, and the other guy I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. It's all shared information and borrowed content. It doesn't belong to them either. So just like they're cutting it together and editing it with their words, I do the same, as you can hear me now speaking. So just to avoid any confusion on who's speaking and what I'm actually doing with this channel is a think tank, if you will. I couldn't get good enough answers on Facebook. I couldn't get any answers on Facebook with all the shadow banning and whatnot. So I decided to take my concerns on YouTube, hoping one or two people would see it and then start joining me here in the comments, and then we could, maybe put our 3 brain cells together, or 2, or how many ever joined. But now I got about 5,000 on my other channel, 1,000 on this channel, so that's about 6,000 brain cells. So that's all this was meant to be. Is I'm kind of stupid, and it really helps to have you guys out there, and we're all knowledgeable. The collective knowledge that we have is impressive, and so it's helpful, let's just say, to all of us. So please be sure to check out the comments below and link us up if you got any links or anything you want to share with us that's helpful in deciphering some of these things, or clues or tidbits. Please comment in the comment section below so we can all look it over. It's really imperative that you take anything that you find out in the streets and bring it here to the cartel members, so we can discuss it amongst ourselves and be a well-informed cartel. Like they say, a well-informed cartel is a long-lasting cartel, let's just say. Anyway, I don't know who says that. I just made that up. Let's just be honest. Anyway, so please enjoy the rest of these videos. And at the end, I'm going to comment some more about who I think it is and who the other options are. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you for this split second. So go ahead and enjoy.
Christopher Reeve, often mistaken as Christopher Reeves, mainly because the Superman before him was the actor George Reeves, popular in the TV show that aired between 1952 and 1958. He died of a gunshot wound, officially ruled a suicide. But was it?
But George Reeves, the living, breathing embodiment of that cartoon hero Superman, was merely mortal. Especially on the night of June 16th, 1959, when he was found with his brains blown away by a shot from his own pistol. The police said it was suicide. Others aren't so sure.
By 1959, his non-Superman roles had all but dried up, and Reeves was doing sketch Superman bits on the road. One night, after an altercation and some drinks with friends, Reeves was found dead by gunshot to the head. It was ruled suicide, though there are theories he was killed by someone else. But who? Theories point to Eddie Mannix, a GM at MGM, whose wife, Toni Mannix, was personally involved with Reeves. Since the suicide was blamed on Reeves' failed career and depression, the curse of the Superman role began to take flight. In 1978, when Marlon Brando played Jor-El, Superman's father on Krypton, the actor playing baby Kal-El wasn't too young to catch the curse. Lee Quigley died at the young age of 14, inhaling solvents. Christopher Reeve portrayed Superman in the 4 films that released between 1978 and 1987. Years had passed without a Superman curse, and in 1994, Reeve played the part of a paraplegic in the film Above Suspicion and trained for months in a wheelchair.
But anything can happen to anybody, you know. I remember the last movie I did, I played a paraplegic. A movie called Above Suspicion, and I went to a rehab center. And I worked with the people there so I could simulate being a paraplegic. And every day I'd get in my car and drive away and go, thank God that's not me. I have to admit that.
In 1995, misfortune had struck. Christopher suffered what is known as a hangman injury after a horseback riding incident where he was thrown from his horse and landed on his head. It broke the top 2 cervical vertebrae and injured his spinal cord, rendering him paralyzed from the neck down. Christopher went on to become a pioneer for disability activism. In 1996, he spoke at the Democratic National Convention, traveled across the country giving speeches. In 1999, the American Paralysis Association and another foundation Reeve had founded were merged into the Christopher Reeve Foundation, which aims to speed up research through funding and to use grants to improve the quality of lives of people with disabilities. Reeve lobbied for expanded federal funding on embryonic stem cell research to include all embryonic stem cell lines in existence and for self-governance to make open-ended scientific inquiry of the research. In 2002, Reeve lobbied for the Human Cloning Prohibition Act of 2001, which would allow somatic cell nuclear transfer research, but would ban reproductive cloning. He argued that stem cell implantation is unsafe unless the stem cells contain the patient's own DNA, and that because somatic cell nuclear transfer is done without fertilizing an egg, can't be fully regulated. In June 2004, Reeve provided a videotape message on behalf of the Genetics Policy Institute to the delegates of the United Nations in defense of somatic cell nuclear transfer, which a world treaty was considering banning. In the final days of his life, Reeve urged California voters to vote yes on Proposition 71, which would establish the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine. It would allot $3 billion of state funds to stem cell research. Proposition 71 was approved less than 1 month after Reeves' death. In early October 2004, Reeve was treated for an infected pressure ulcer which was causing sepsis, a condition he had struggled with. On October 9th, 2004, Reeve attended his son Will's hockey game, and that night he went into cardiac arrest after receiving an antibiotic for the infection. He fell into a coma and was taken to Northern Westchester Hospital in Mount Kisco, New York. 18 hours later, on October 10th, 2004, Reeve died at the age of 52. No official autopsy was performed on the actor. However, both Reeve's wife, Dana, and his doctor, John McDonald, believed that an adverse reaction to a drug caused Reeve's death. Although a non-smoker, Dana Reeve was diagnosed with lung cancer on August 9th, 2005. She died at age 44 on March 6th, 2006, and the foundation was subsequently renamed the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. So much mystery surrounds Christopher Reeve's death. Some would say this is where the story ends. Close the book. There's not much to look at here. However, 16 years later, an account on TikTok was opened. The username, What's Left of Me. Only one video, posted on December 5th, 2020, with a cryptic message, leaving one to question, is Christopher Reeve still alive?
You want the whole truth. You deserve the whole truth. So here's the thing. Find out who I am. And for those of you who know, and you're not saying anything, well, those golden tickets you have are really lined with lead. Because until the whole truth comes out, it's all just lies on both sides. So anyway, TikTok, have some fun with this. Find out who that man is with the silly curl on his forehead. I had forgotten I even had that curl for decades. Strangest thing, having your memories wiped out. Well, anyway, take care, TikTok. Godspeed.
He said his memory was wiped for decades. Those who didn't say anything, their golden tickets are lined with lead? The ones with golden tickets, a reference to Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and its 5 coveted golden tickets the world dreamt of getting? Although if you've seen the film, you know disaster strikes almost every child that got that ticket. So, in wondering what if this actually is Christopher Reeve? What if his memory was actually wiped? How could this make any sense? The rabbit hole goes deep. Buckle up. We're not in Metropolis anymore.
President, what did you mean by calm before the storm yesterday? What did you mean by that?
Thank you very much. You'll find out.
We'll find out.
We'll see.
Hello, truth seekers. Days ago, this man appeared. He can be found by searching Christopher Reeves in Twitter search. I'm talking about this guy right here. Let us first see what message he has for us today.
You deserve the whole truth. So here's the thing. Find out who I am. And for those of you who know, and you're not saying anything, well, those golden tickets you have are really lined with lead. Because until the whole truth comes out, it's all just lies on both sides. So anyway, TikTok, have some fun with this. Find out who that man is with the silly curl on his forehead. I had forgotten I even had that curl for decades. Strangest thing, having your memories wiped out. Well, anyway, take care, TikTok. Godspeed.
Okay, so for the assertions and the assumptions by this video, It is assumed that this is probably the first video this person has put of himself in the public domain. This individual asserts that he's had his memories wiped. He also asserts that there's a curl of hair that's been present for decades. In addition, he asserts that those who knows his identity, who are not speaking out, their golden tickets are lined with lead. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the face of Christopher Reeve on the left and this anonymous individual on the right. Deadpan eyes of this individual, eyes not deadpan. With skin shade differences, you have to take those differences with a grain of salt, as lighting can significantly affect an appearance skin shade. Teeth are somewhat similar, however it appears this individual's incisors are a bit sharper. Smiles can be quite unique due to different muscular activations. And you see these smiles appear to be a little different. I get the impression that this individual's eyes are a bit more deep set, as the eye isn't deeper to the bridge of the nose as compared to this individual. However, there is a difference due to an apparent age gap as well as lighting, which can partially account for the apparent deep set nature of this person's eyes. They do both have somewhat small smiles, which is similar. The corner of the mouth is not projected out very far in each of these cases. Here's the Wikipedia profile photo for Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve was born September 25th, 1952. If he were alive today, he would be 68 years old. A man with a face like this could possibly be mid-60s. I would say that he is rather young looking for 68, but I do not think that could be ruled out by age. In this tweet by Jack Will Wakio, we have a comparison of this anonymous individual with a very young JFK Jr. One interesting thing I noticed right away is this photo of JFK Jr. demonstrates that he has curly hair. That surprised me. One difference that pops out at me is this individual's nose appears to be a little, I would say, bulbous at the very end, and there's like a curling that's not present in this nose. Jaw lines are similar between the two individuals. You have a zygomatic crease that's very similar between the two individuals. The eyes of each of these individuals has what I'll describe as a slanted, lazy look. Now let's look at a few other photos of JFK Jr. throughout life, just to get you accustomed to his profile, and then we'll look at this other individual again. From this angle, you can somewhat appreciate a bulbous appearance to the nose. Here's an aged photo of JFK Jr. Here's our TikTok video guy. As you see in the comparison, this individual's face is not likely to be nearly as animated as this individual's face.
Curl on his forehead.
Look at his facial expressions.
I even had that curl for decades.
Now let's see JFK Jr. speak.
Elderly, to those without hope, regardless of fashion or convention, is the greatest reward of public service.
Note the degree of facial expressiveness as he's communicating.
I'm not a political leader, but I can speak for those of my age.
Notice the pitch of the voice compared to TikTok video guy.
Strangest thing, having your memories wiped out.
It was given.
Let us not forget this Wakefield interview. Touch your nose if JFK Jr. is alive. So RFK Jr. did so.
People always
Listen to his voice here.
Other than people asking me, were you on Jerry Seinfeld's show? That is the second most frequently asked question. I'm being an editor of a political magazine. You're able to be in politics without really being in politics.
Right, right.
So it's like being the vice president, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you see, he does have somewhat of an expressive face.
I have a great time doing that, and we all know that politics is a tough profession these days. But
Well, anyway, take care, TikTok.
The voices do not seem to match much at all. Now let's watch Christopher Reeve speak on the Letterman show, March 1st, 1982.
And he did a thing, he said, what for Gerald Ford? For Gerald Ford, he just went, whoops. And I just think it shows that it doesn't matter who you are. Why does Time magazine, for example, call everybody by capital letters? You know, actor so-and-so, faded film star so-and-so, 77, you know? A label and an age right away, so.
You deserve the whole truth. So here's the thing. Find out who I am.
They're not ganging up on me, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm stricken sitting here next to you by how
right?
yeah, I understand.
I can help.
By how young a person you are. Well, I guess you knew that, though, didn't you?
Have you always been this young, or is there something that happened recently?
But you are a very young man.
It's called a silly haircut, is really what
You know, I get those occasionally.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You go in looking like yourself, you come out like a duck.
Absolutely.
Not that you look like a duck, mind you, but there ought to be a law.
I've been called worse.
Federal legislation on haircuts. Well, we have to interrupt here for a second, but we'll be back to talk more about haircuts with Christopher.
For those of you who know, you're not saying anything. Well, those golden tickets you have are really lined with lead.
It's like, listen, if you really have a problem, I'm on the other end of the phone.
But in this film, you're more of an advocate, though.
No, he's still hanging back, and they have to call him out, and the kid, and he's petitioned by a kid.
One thing I noticed is the zygomatic crease is not as prominent on this aged Christopher Reeve here. The voice is indeed deeper than JFK Jr.
Ted Kennedy. I owe a special debt to the man his nephews and nieces call Teddy. Not just because of what he means to me personally, but because of the causes he has carried on. He has shown that an unwavering...
You noticed a higher pitch of the voice. Also, that crease, also called the nasal labial fold, is not as prominent. These wrinkles tend to become more prominent with age.
Because until the whole truth comes out, it's all just lies on both sides.
I noticed the more, I'll describe it as sonorous quality to this guy's voice.
Regardless of fashion or convention, is the greatest reward of public service.
Here's Keanu Reeves in the year 1998 on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Here you can appreciate a not very bulbous nose, somewhat deadpan eyes. I'll come to the conclusion, which I must admit is not the conclusion I necessarily wanted to come to, but just based off of raw observation, especially paying attention to the difference between the voices of these three individuals, I'd have to conclude that neither Keanu Reeves nor JFK Jr. are this mysterious TikTok guy. So who has the golden ticket? I'm not sure. As far as saying Christopher Reeve's name, I think there has been a confusion as far as is the last name Reeve or Reeve. Well, not surprisingly enough, Christopher Reeve has been noted to be possibly a Mandela effect. Apparently, many remember Christopher Reeves, who now has the S dropped off the end of the name. Anyway, that's all for now.
So there you have it. Pretty intriguing stuff. Am I right, cartel members? Or cartellers, I should say. So Carol Sprouse, congratulations. She found this person, I do believe. Or that's how I found this person. But see that guy in the red up there? That's who I think it looks most like. Now, I'm going to give you his name here in a second. Well, right now. Michael Hoffman of Colorado. I'm not sure why or who this Michael Hoffman is. I tried looking him up. And if you go to the TikTok now and try to find this, All That's Left of Me, at All That's Left of Me, he's not there. Yeah, they took the video down and his account down, it appears. So I don't know what, maybe Michael Hoffman saw that he was caught and turned it all off. But with that said, we got Michael Hoffman of Salida. And then we have JT Tummelson. Now, I think that's a guy from SEAL Team 6. And I think it looks a lot like him, to be very honest. I'm like 50-50 on him and the other guy. Now you got this guy. Is that the same guy? I'm sorry. I might have got it. I think that's a different guy. Oh, no. There's another guy that looks like that guy. Maybe it's that same guy, but with younger pictures. You got to go on Twitter and Twitter up the name at What's Left of Me. Just put that in the search, one word, and it should bring up all kinds of stuff. But I'll do some more digging and see, I'll just keep my ears perked and check the comment section. So, but yeah, that's who I think it is right there, that guy. I think it looks the most like him, but I don't know. Everything he says is super intriguing and super crazy and super creepy. The whole mind erase. Now, what I was going to say is if it is not JFK, Christopher Reeve, understand that he was going to try to do stem cells, and stem cells is really next level stuff, hand in hand with cloning. So with him saying he had his memories wiped, that's just the layman's term for us. So he remembers who he is, but not completely, because the stuff that you remember through your DNA, or I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess, but you guys catch the gist. And I feel like that's why if he were Christopher Reeve, looks so young for being Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve should be like 70 at this point. And that guy looks like he's 50, 45, 55, right around there. But with, cloning and if you know anything about all that, they can adjust your aging rate. They can make it to where you age quickly, and I don't know. I'm sure they could do all kinds of crazy stuff with cloning. There's all kinds of movies about it, that are really weird. So you can only imagine what your imagination can let you think about when it comes to cloning. That's probably pretty accurate. Technology is way advanced. So with that said, guys, I think that's all I have for you. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow, comment below. Comment below, please. And make sure you hit that bell to get all notifications. Hit the bell, people. It really does help. The bell. Ring the bell. And as always, you know the routine. To God be the glory.